Welcome back to the AB Scale Project. I'm Krager, and this is Alpha Bravo. And in this episode, it's time to Seeker and Destroy. By request, we're looking at those Decepticon army builders that have been in almost every Transformers incarnation. Starscream even found his way onto Beast Wars. These guys are as essential to Transformers as Optimus and Megatron. As you can see, there are a ton of molds available through different continuities. We'll look at stand-ins as we go, but our big ones are T-30 Jetfire, in for the redecoed Combiner Wars mold, Toy World Hegemon for the iGear Raptors, and FOC Soundwave for the Planet X Seekers. My NPM Starscream is staying in its box because all my NPMs are unopened until I have a shelf for them, and the Platinum Starscream is staying in its box because it way outsizes anything, and it's not even close to an IDW or G1 appearance. Again, with most mass mold mount characters, I don't have old molds, but I think I have or have represented the major ones that are in competition. Speaking of what's in competition, let's remove all the non-IDW, non-G1 molds and trim this mess down. So the movies, the Energon, the Cybertron, I don't even own any animated, the Titanium, etc. They're all gone. I'll be right back. Now that we've eliminated much of the field, let's look at the IDW representations. For the Simon Furman Asian era, all the Seekers were F-22 Raptors with stylized robot modes. The only toys made for this look were the iGear Raptors. You did get the Big Six, so it's pretty good. You can see they're a little tall for the modern lines, as you can see with Siege Megatron next to Hegemon here, but they have the look down. The only real drawback is that they're expensive. Somewhere around the time that the story split into Robots in Disguise and More Than Meets the Eye comics, the Seekers took on a War for Cybertron look. The only choices for these are the Generations Fall of Cybertron and the Planet X. Between these two, they do look close to the same. One is too tall, the other is too short. We need something in between to be perfect. But between these two, I think the Generations is closest to the size we're looking for with the new War for Cybertron scale. At the time of the Dark Cybertron storyline, Starscream alone got a new body. That's a copy of his Armada body. Our choices are, of course, the original Armada and the T-30 Armada. The original Armada mold is too big and bogged down by gimmicks, so it's got poor articulation, so it's out of here. As you can see, I tried to get a full complement of these guys for my Seekers, only missing Thrust and Dirge for the Big Six. I actually bought extra TFCC ramjets to make customs for them, but then Siege was announced. Anyway, after that, the Seekers got Combiner Wars bodies. So you can use Combiner Wars. It's way too big, but you can do that. I opted to skip the whole line and go on to the final Evergreen look. For that one, we got several options. Yeah, I'm including the Power of the Primes in this category instead of G1. By the scale chart, we're looking for a tall deluxe for these guys. So the Legend scale are out. For playability, we'll remove the Fury for not transforming, and the Cyberverse for, well, just being a crap mold. Although the Power of the Primes has comic proportions, it's just not a good toy, so it's eliminated. Between the Wei Jiang KO oversize and the Cyber Battalion, between the two, out of the box, I think I like the Cyber Battalion better. The bad news is you're going to have to custom your way to a full set. For an honorable mention, MMC did make a Hearts of Steel version of the Seeker mold. This is almost a perfect scale, looks just like the comics, but it's got so many fine parts and motion, I'm kind of scared to transform it. You can get the main three in this mold, but not the Coneheads. In all fairness, the Coneheads didn't appear in the comic, so that's okay. As a side note, to get his true body, you'll have to custom. Maybe a RID 2015 Storm Shot with a prowl head? Maybe? Finally, we're looking at G1. The original MP is standing in for itself. the Make Toys Meteor, and the new MP52. So right off the bat, let's get rid of the poor posers. So the G1, the Vinyl, the Loyal Subjects, the Pretender, the Alt Modes, and the Q Transformers are out. Looking at the scale chart again, he should be a tall deluxe. So the MP scaled are out. For an unconventional purge, I'm going to say I only want the molds that I can get the big 6 in. So the Combiner Wars and the Siege are out. The Impossible toys, while having the best, most accurate Tetrajet mode, the robot mode, well, it looks like something that if you showed it to a 5-year-old, they'd pat you on the head and say in their best placating voice, "At least you tried." So, it's eliminated. The Classics mold is, well, classic. The only problem is, it was a shrimpy size even for its time. I always said that all Hasbro needed to do was size up the Classics mold and it'd be perfect. So we got the Earthrise. It's like they read my mind. So the winner is the Earthrise mold. The cone heads can be hard to get, but they're well worth it. They do lag in articulation behind the Siege, but they're still great molds. You can get the big 6, but the Rainmakers, Reception Committee, etc. will have to be done in Siege. I'm actually fine with that since none of them actually got F15 alt modes, so it works to mix the molds on the shelf. That's it for today. Thanks for joining us on the AB Scale project. If there's a character you'd like to see, put your request in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see y'all later.